Paññā is a tool, a state of mind, mental state, form of knowledge. It's all of the above. It's a tool that you need to use in order to understand Dhamma. It's like sati, mindfulness, samadhi, concentration. You developed it, it becomes a skill. The skill is needed for you to use to understand Dhamma. At the same time, it is a state of mind. Meaning, when your mind is of a certain state, you experience wisdom, you experience paññā. The mind is a certain state, you experience wisdom. It's also knowledge. To say that someone has paññā is to say that someone understands what is Dhamma. It's all of the above. So trying to explain this is going to be tricky. It's going to be very difficult. But we'll try lah. We'll try. You all had printed what was sent to you, right? You will need it as reference. Easier to follow. And hopefully, at the end of this session, you would hopefully say that it's as illuminating as previous sessions and not what to do on chap. Blur sikit. Okay. Now, intuitively, if you look at your notes, I've written some points there. Intuitively, we all know that paññā is very critical to realization. It's literally the last door. Have or not makes the difference. You have the paññā, you can see it. Step by step by step by step, you will see. You don't have the paññā, you don't even know where to begin. You don't know where to start. So as I was coming up with Zhang Xing, I was saying, you know you need it, but you don't know what it looks like. Then how do you develop something that you don't know what it looks like? Tricky lah. So I say Buddha brilliant. To be able to come up with a teaching that essentially allowed people through the centuries to use and figure out on their own. Figure it out on their own how to develop the qualities required to see the Dhamma. It's brilliant. Now, if you recall earlier on, we talked about the 37 factors of enlightenment. And I mentioned before that you need to have these factors develop as mental states in order for you to be able to see Dhamma. Paññā is one of the few factors that appear again and again and again. Sati is the one that appears most regularly, followed by Viriya. Samadhi is also very regular, and paññā appears quite often. And when it doesn't appear as a word, for instance, in the Eightfold Path, nowhere was it mentioned. In the Eightfold Path, you know the Eightfold Path, huh? Nowhere is it mentioned that you need, that paññā is a factor. But embedded in the Eightfold Path, paññā stands out as a critical factor. Your first two elements, right view and right thought, belong to a paññā category. So paññā is there. It's just not said. Buddha didn't say sama paññā, but it is there. In the 7 factors of enlightenment, I know you don't remember what the 7 factors of enlightenment is in your first lecture notes, the first one. In the 7 factors of enlightenment, again, it's not mentioned anywhere, the word paññā. But the very first one says sati, mindfulness. The second one says Dhamma vichaya, Dhamma investigation. Just these two together is paññā. That you have the correct mindfulness so that your mind is aware of the moment. And with the kind of mind that is aware of the moment, you start observing the nature of the mind, you can have the arising of Dhamma knowledge. In order that you can recognize those as Dhamma knowledge, Paññā, you have to have wisdom to recognize the ideas that are popping up. Okay? So, in the 37 factors of enlightenment, even when they are not mentioned, the Paññā is actually there in the mix. Okay, how is Paññā supposed to work? I'm going to explain it as part of a journey. Think of it as a journey, okay? When you first became a Buddhist, and you first say that I want to practice Buddhism, I want to practice the Buddha's teaching, I want to understand Buddha's teaching. You're not even talking about Nibbana, just I want to understand Buddha's teaching. Very early point in your choice, that point. You need to have some, what I call, practical, mundane, simple wisdom. Mundane. This is not your supra-mundane Paññā, but it is still Paññā of sort. You need to sit down and then you study the kind of philosophies or faith out there. And you say that this particular one somehow speaks to me. Why does it speak to me? Because when I look at what this person teach, it seems to correlate with my life's experience. And because there is some correlation, I can feel the relevance, let's check the teaching out a little bit more. It has to start like this. So if you say that you are a Buddhist, that you're a student of Dhamma, but you have no idea what the Buddha taught, then there is no solid Saddha faith and there is no Paññā involved, wisdom. When that happens, how long you stay in this tradition or this school or this teaching is 缘分, completely 缘分. 缘分一了, you move on because it doesn't speak to you. Which is why in the Buddha's time, the Buddha usually said, okay, in the Buddha's time he usually said, come, sit, listen, hear, lend your ear, meaning you sit down there doesn't mean you heard what he said. Then you need to hear, you have to remember, you have to compare with your own experience, reflect. You see the correlation, that's when you say, I think it makes sense. I want it. I want to know more. So this flow, right, this choosing to go, choosing to pay attention, listening to the talk, then using what was said, what was taught, and compared to your own life experience, all these is very proactive. It requires you to think about it, reflect about it, make choices. So every step of the way, you make choices. And if you choose to continue to the next step, is a form of Paññā. That you choose to come here, that you choose to pay attention, that you can remember what was said, that you now know how to apply, and then you begin to understand and say, hey, something is very nice about it. All these requires some thinking, some reflection, and the fact that you continue to the next step implies that there is wisdom going on. Again, mundane wisdom, but important, very important. Because you could have sat down there, heard nothing. You could have sat down there, heard something, but got it all wrong. You could have sat down there, heard it correctly, but don't remember anything. Or you remember already, but don't know how to apply. How many of us have attended talks after talks, listened to anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanence, suffering, and soullessness, and then, 1 year in, 1 year out. Buddha has an expression for that, by the way. He calls it lap Dhamma. Lap. What does it mean, right? When you sit down, you put things on it, it stays. The moment you stand up, everything drops. So it's called lap Dhamma. This was his term for the people who stand up, go home, don't remember anything really. Okay? So, right at the start of your journey, spiritual journey, you have to make choices whether or not it's the Buddha's teaching you're interested in. And that requires some paññā. Okay, this is only choosing Buddha as a teacher. Then, after that, you have to choose a teacher. Buddha's no more. Dhamma is there, but there are various versions of Dhamma. Buddha's no more, but there are various teachers of Dhamma, Dharma. They are all these things. Again, it requires some paññā to know which one to pick, which one to follow. You may not know at this point in time, you may not know. You have no idea who is selling the correct medicine. But if you have the mundane paññā, you will be suspicious and your nose will tell you this particular form of koyok is koyok. It's bluff. Something here doesn't smell right. So it is also paññā that will protect you, that will keep you relatively shielded from something which is off. It doesn't mean you don't go in there. You very well will go in and check it out. And after you 走几个圈, then you realize something smells funny and you back off. So paññā takes you to the right place. Paññā will also tell you when, if you got it wrong, if this is wrong, you know how to back off. Paññā, therefore, is a critical element to protect you. Paññā is critical to protect you. Paññā is critical to get you to make the correct choices. You see what I'm saying? All this at this point is still mundane paññā. Okay? Paññā at this point also enables you to understand, I put down here, basic. What is this basic we are talking about? This is what we are talking about, correlation. Earlier on I mentioned that you listen to the teaching and you said, how does it apply in my life? And it does. For instance, the Four Noble Truths. In a very gross, broad, basic way, the Four Noble Truths must feel relevant. Dhamma is life. Dhamma is not concepts and ideas. Dhamma is life. Okay? So what do we mean by the Four Noble Truths must be experienced as part of life? You get moments when you get upset. And the odds are, on a single day, in fact, if we put it into a single hour, there will be pockets of period when you don't feel shook. In fact, you might even feel really not shook. Don't feel shook, not same, a bit different. But yes, I am that anal. It's very different, okay? Not shook is, okay lor. When you say really not shook is, ayo. I love a Singapore audience. You see these kind of things, they all know. No need words. Just haw and ha. They all know what it means. Okay, so you can have a situation where you sit there, you got nothing to do, right? You nothing to do. Then you say, I'm bored. When you say I'm bored, you feel shook or not? Not lah. What will happen after you say I'm bored? The ladies go gardening. They go to make food to eat. The men go and chit-chat. Men, women also can do other things, doesn't matter. Play with iPad, play with games, watch television, read a book, etc., etc., etc. You get your mind distracted when you feel bored. And that's just nothing, okay? We haven't even come to the grief part. We haven't even come to the quarrel with the neighbor part. We haven't come to the part where your children call you name. And then you want to 不死不活 already. What, you say 要死要活, not 不死不活, 要死要活 already. Yeah, so it's a bit like that lah. So So when you have all these little pockets of not feeling great, not feeling good, in those little pockets, you may realize, you may not, but you may realize that it has to do with your looking for something. You don't know what it is, you're looking for something. Okay? Your heart, your energy is low means you go round and round and round, a bit restless. So you're looking for something. When you get upset with somebody, you get angry with somebody, you want something. You surely want something. I want you to show me respect. I want you not to call me name. I want you not to take me for granted. You see what I'm saying? All this, I want this and I want that. Okay? When you are craving for something, usually the normal person experience it as something positive. Which is why I was teasing somebody. Shopping day is a positive day. But shopping day is a craving day. But it's a positive day. It's fun. Normal world, it's like that. What we don't realize, the normal person is all this feeding actually generates more restlessness, generate more negativities in the mind. Which is why very often, if we are of a national average person, for those who are new, national average means you're very normal, the normal person out there. And you give in to your craving, you give in to your anger, normal person. If you're a very national average person, the odds are, by the time you hit your later part of the 40s and 50s and so on, right, you need Botox in a big way. Because your face will show. You will show the angst, will show the anxiety, will show the craving, and show everything you don't want to show, they start to show for you. That's the national average, which is why the cosmetic companies are making so much money. Buy shares, buy the cosmetic shares. Whereas, if you are a practitioner, then you realize that all this feeding of the instincts creates more and more problem. So you try to moderate it. And as you try to moderate, you begin to realize that actually you feel better. You can. And it's very sudden. It can be very sudden. For instance, your neighbor always sweep the floor and then land everything on your doorstep. Sweep, land on doorstep. Then you fed up. Sweep back, Then one day, you realize that, no, this thing doesn't work. Let's just go talk to my neighbor and see whether it's okay, to explain something. And then first you bring some goodies, bribery, bring some goodies, and 你们好, how are you, sama datang, whatever it is. Then you say, okay, we have this little problem. Is it okay if we don't do it this way, Maybe I can do it this way. And then maybe you work out something. Yeah, there is a letting go. There isn't the resentment that you guys fix it. It might well be that I will fix it myself. It might well be that I forgive you, you don't know what you're doing. It might well be that you go across, make a friend. It doesn't matter. The point is you let go of the anger. For you, in that moment, you see the trilogy. That because you originally had some resentment and you have a very strong wanting, it led to some kind of dissatisfaction, stress, problems. But if the point when you can let it down, let it be, make a friend, reconcile whatever you do, and then it somehow feels so much better. So as far as you're concerned, in that episode, for you, is a learning experience. It may not be something so major. It may be something very minor. For instance, something very simple like, I want to eat something, and then sudah lah, never mind lah. Not there, the shop closed, it doesn't matter. Then you feel better already. It may be something very simple. But for you to see a correlation of these craving leads to stress, letting go makes it better. You just see the connection and accept that connection. That in itself, seeing this connection and accepting this connection is paññā, requires wisdom. And at this point, your wisdom is slightly more than the original, what I call rather mundane. It's still mundane, but it's slightly better. Because for you, the Dhamma comes alive already. It comes alive. And you say very difficult. Of course, it's very difficult. Easy way, not Dhamma already. Dhamma is difficult. But it's okay. It gets easier. Okay, all this mundane. Now, you said, I have accepted it. I'm taking this practice. This is the doctrine I want. This is the teacher I want. This is the way he taught whoever you learn under. I think it's correct. I'm embracing it. Okay? So you are now ready to hop onto the Dhamma bus. When you hop onto the Dhamma bus, can you take out your notes? You see Maha Chattarisaka Sutta, the Great 40. The Great 40. Did you all find it? It's a very beautiful sutta. There are there's a little bit of controversy whether or not this sutta was during preached by Buddha during his time, or maybe a little bit later, but it doesn't matter. The core Dhamma is still there. You look at number 6, and it says what bhikkhu is right view, and here it says right view is twofold. There is right view that is affected by taints, partaking of merit, ripening in the acquisitions. Then there is the right view that is noble, taintless, supramundane, a factor of the path. You see that? Okay, let me explain. This was said by the Buddha. Now I'm going to explain it in the context of our world. What does it mean by the journey? What it means here is that when you have paññā, right view is possible only when you have paññā, wisdom. When the Buddha used the word right view, he is implying, encapsulate in that word, that the person has wisdom. Okay? Captured in that word, right view, is already the assumption that the individual who has right view has wisdom. So therefore, based on this stanza, what he was effectively saying is, when there is paññā, it's used in two ways. There is the paññā that allows you, that enables you to say that I will watch my behavior, I am mindful of karma, I will observe restraint, observe morality, do good, do no evil, do the right thing, etc. So, partaking of merit, ripening in the acquisition, this is karma. Affected by taints, this is morality. You understand that? So one part about paññā, wisdom, means you know what is right and what is wrong. And you choose to do what is right and to avoid doing what is wrong. So when you observe the precepts are not commandments. They're not words that you must follow, but that you know you have to do it for the practice. Paññā, wisdom, enables you to know what must be done and why it must be done. Why is it we are so strict about not taking things not given? It's a simple thing. Don't take what's not given. We all move it to new heights, okay? The normal person will say, don't steal. But in Buddhism, a practitioner will take it to new heights. Meaning to say, when you tear your parking coupon, you don't cheat 15 minutes. When you use your office stationery, you don't use it for your own thing. You want to do your own thing, you bring your own pen. It's down to that level of noble action. Why like that? Why you say why like that? Because we know that the mind is full of craving. The more you want to practice the path, the more you got to let go of that craving. Why you cheat the government 15 minutes of coupon? Seriously? Craving, right? It's all craving. Why would you want to take the stapler that belongs to the company? But cheaper ma. I don't have to buy my own. Got jam so you want to calculate. You see what I'm saying? Lies, lying. I get asked this question 101 times. White lie can or not? White lie, not lie. Lie got color on it. There's a purple lie, there's a red lie, and that's a white one. Lie is a lie. Why are we so strict about it? Because every time you want to create a new version of reality, it's a creation in the mind. You tell the story often enough, no matter whether it's to help or not to help, you tell the story often enough, your mind becomes fuzzy. So here you want to help these people. There you're creating all these stories. After a while, your Hollywood is in your mind. And you then will make it become harder and harder for you to differentiate very sharply the facts, the absolute truth. It becomes fuzzier and fuzzier, blurrer and blurrer. Because your mind created the habit, has developed the habit of constructing a story. So this is the reason why the more you are dedicated to the practice, the more you restrain yourself. You find your mind wanting to, easy way out, easy way out. Someone says, can we go out together? I want to say don't want, but then I don't want to hurt him. So what do I say? I'm not free. Why couldn't you have said, I don't want to go out with you? That's the first part of it. That you know for yourself why something has to be done in this way and why not in that way. So meaning your morality, your upholding of ethics is done with wisdom. And you uphold it. Why do you uphold it? Because you want to support your practice, to see Nibbana. The practice is to realize Nibbana. That's all, okay? It is not to get you to heaven. Of course, some of you have got lower expectations, aspirations. Okay, fine, go heaven. But it's really for Nibbana, for realization, okay? Then you see, part 2, there is right view that is noble, taintless, supramundane, a factor of the path. Which is what I have been saying, that Paññā, the second use of it is to be able to see Dhamma, to penetrate. And it's a tool, it's a factor of the path, it's a tool. You don't have this mental state, this tool, you didn't develop it in a sharp way, then it doesn't work. It's like having a scissors. You need to cut a piece of cloth, you need a scissors. You can't saw, you need that scissors. So Paññā is essentially that scissors. But if your Paññā is blunt, it's going to take a long time for you to cut a piece of cloth, right? In fact, your cloth is going to look very awful because of the bluntness of that thing. So Paññā is very sharp. The tool has to be developed in a way that when you use it, it cuts right through. Cuts through the mental fog. Our mind is surrounded by a mental fog. And you need the wisdom to slice it through. Okay? Now, if you look at your notes, the first thing I said, therefore, Paññā, about knowing how to make the right choices. Sama Sankapa in your Eightfold Path as number 2. Sama Sankapa. What is Sama Sankapa? Right thought. From having right understanding, having the right form of wisdom, you then, with wisdom, make correct choices. Make the correct choices. And what does it mean by making correct choices? You will find that arising as a instinct, on an instinctive basis, arising is one thing. One thing. So a right approach is to know how to give. Nekkamma is to give. Giving is not natural, not instinctive. One thing is instinctive. If giving were so instinctive, then there will be a lot of money floating around, going all over the place. But instead, we have to go around and have all kinds of charity shows, and all kinds of walkathon, all kinds of donation in order to persuade people to give. Right? If it's a place that sells very good food, you don't have to stop people from going there. You don't have to go and lay long. People will just all flood there. It's very instinctive. Hey, nice food, I want. Whereas you ask someone to go in there, he queue for 3 hours, he ain't going to buy it for you. He's just going to buy it for himself. You see that? Okay. That is about giving. The flip side of it, if you want something, you can't get it, you get angry. So the flip side is to want to not get angry, to want to be kind. Those are not instinctive either. When we want something and we don't get it, you can see your temper coming up. If whatever comes out, either nothing comes out, so you hold, or whatever comes out is flip over and say it's okay, doesn't matter. Whatever comes out is positive, then 你做到了. You have arrived. It means right thought. You have done it correctly. I have always said this. It's always very easy to be nice when you are happy. It's very difficult to continue to be nice when you are angry inside. Whatever that comes out, right, is so difficult to contain. And why then are we angry? We are angry because it's something we want we didn't get. All the time. You just watch your mind. Every time you're angry, right? You don't tell yourself, you don't ask yourself, oh, I'm angry. Why? Because somebody's fault. Because you want somebody to do something. You want somebody to behave in a certain way. It's always like that. Likewise, when you're angry, don't ask yourself what is it you don't want. You always ask yourself what is it you want. Because when you say, I don't want something, that's not where the answer is. Every time when two people quarrel, right? When people quarrel, they tend to say, you never do this for me. And the fellow will say, but you are also like that. You also never do this for me. So the nevers will flood the place. And then at the end of that, nobody resolves anything. What they should have started right from point 1 is, I want this done. I prefer it this way. It solves a lot of problems. If the other side can reciprocate and say, actually, I prefer it this way. I want it this way. A lot easier. Straight away, you get to the crux of the problem. Give you another example. I'm very bad examples. So I just give you another one. So, say you have a child, okay? It's a young kid. And the kid kept jumping. Hop, 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 hop. And you tell the kid, stop jumping. Don't jump. Don't jump. So what the kid do? He doesn't jump, he run around. I can see your temper coming up already. We run around. Then you say, don't run, don't run. Then he's saying at the top of his voice. He kicks the door, he kicks the door, he kicks the table, he kicks the chair. You don't kick the table, kick the chair. The kid's going to ask you, don't run, don't jump. Then what you want me to do? If right from point one you tell the kid, come sit here beside me quietly, solve the problem, right? That would have solved your problem, right? So our problem is many a times we are unable to say what we want properly. As a result, we create all kinds of misunderstanding. And the basis for us having a temper that comes up is always you want something, you didn't get it. The basis. Unless you are ki xiao, then for no reason you have anger. But generally, the normal person, there is a condition outside. There's a condition outside, okay? And the condition is, I want something. So, first one, about making choices. The second one is what the Buddha said about taming your own negativities. If you have wisdom, you recognize why you have to tame your negativities. If you have wisdom, you choose to do good. You choose not to do bad. If you have wisdom, you go one step further and say, not just action. Doing good, not doing bad is action. Not just action. It's what's in there that you try to overcome. And taming negativities would mean 5 sets of taming, okay? Number 1, taming craving, taming greed, taming wanting. Taming that. So every time one, I ask, quiet. So many one for what? Quiet. Taming ill will. Ill will. Some people very spontaneously will flare up. And then they will say other people's fault. Very spontaneously. I mean, of course, there are things that they want. Because they have so many wants, they can't take it anymore. Flare up, flare up. You've got to tame that. Tame the ill will. The third one, taming the lazy energy. A lot of us who don't practice on the daily, meditate on the daily basis, the chances are, well, today very tired. I worked very hard in office today. I must rest. Then, maybe I will work, but I eat too much, so I can't concentrate. Once you eat so much. So, taming the lazy energy. Okay, I can bet you a lot of you will have this problem if you don't meditate. The reason for your non-meditation is, I'm very tired, I don't feel like it. Okay. The fourth one, taming the restless, agitated, shooting around energy. And the fifth one was what you just said. Taming the talking, constructing mind. I kept changing the definition of that word. The original word is vicikiccha. Vicikiccha has always been translated, traditionally been translated as doubt. And I've always felt that the translation, the doubt translation is off. It's not quite hitting it correctly. It has to do with a mind that says, I don't understand. I don't know what it means. Can you please explain to me? I'm perplexed. So I started using the word perplexed, okay, to replace the word, for the word vicikiccha, I used the word perplexed. Then it struck me that actually it's a little bit more than perplexed. Perplexed is a state of mind, correct. But many people who are perplexed starts having, it's a product of that, a product of perplexity is to start creating their own logical understanding of issues. So they go into conceptual construction. Like, okay, I don't understand what is soullessness. Maybe soullessness is this. Maybe it's this. Actually, maybe it's this also. You created a whole definition of soullessness all by yourself, all by your own creative self. Then because you have already created all these things, it becomes very problematic. Someone says it's not any of the above. You go, you sure or not? I thought it through very carefully, no? It's all very logical. And you don't forget I got PhD one, you know. Die already lah. You got PhD one, got some problem already. So perplex, actually, the word Vichikicha is actually perplex. But the correlation to the word, to this particular problem, is a tendency to overthink. Okay? Okay. You extend it a bit further. If you have wisdom, you will also know that you need to, not just do good, do evil, but you have to cultivate a pure space in here. Pure space in there. So the paramis come in. Paramis are like, in English, translated as perfection. Qualities identified in the Buddhist community, said to be identified by Buddha, but they are actually not all that identified by Buddha. But they are said to be identified by Buddha as qualities, good qualities that must be developed for mental development. They are good qualities. So it will be things like having faith, having energy, having determination, metta, patience, wisdom, equanimity. So all these are qualities. Doesn't matter. The point is they are all good. And you choose to want to do it. And one of the things which has never appeared anywhere, which I would then say it separately. Most of the things have been appearing all over the place. No need to give special attention to. But there are two things which are not explained anywhere and which I think are very important. And they only appear in paramis. One is patience. The second one is aditana. Patience is kanti, aditana, determination. These two didn't appear in the 7 factors of, in the 37 factors of enlightenment. They didn't appear. Viriya is not aditana, not same. Viriya is not aditana, they're not the same. Viriya, aditana is determination. You don't give up. You don't give up. You hop onto the train, you find yourself dropping on the train, you hold on to the train. It's like you watch shows and you see the Indian train, right, pulling away. Then everybody hanging all over the place trying to hold on to that. Aditana is you will reach a destination 250 kilometers later, you're still holding on to the rails. Okay? Determination to go on and not give up. That's aditana. Viriya is energy, which is to clean the mental space. They're not the same thing, okay? The other one is kanti. Again, kanti never appear anywhere, only in the paramis. Why I feel that kanti needs a special treatment? When you're practicing, there will be time when you backslide. Hello, you sane, is it? You surely will lose temper one. You surely will give in to your craving. That plate of char kway teow looks so good, you bo pian, you have to go. Okay? You will have all these moments when you backslide. You have to have patience with yourself. This kanti, this patience, is a pure quality. It's patience towards others and patience with yourself. The more you are a practitioner, the more you are very strict with yourself. And the ones who are not very wise will do self-flagellation every day. Go before the Buddha, chan kui. You don't have to do it like that. Because you are supposed to go before the Buddha and say, before the Buddha, as I forgive others, I hope to be forgiven. Let's forgive everything lah. So forgiveness, it is not remorse. It is forgiveness, not the same. Buddha tells you to forgive. He didn't tell you to feel bad. They're not the same thing. Forgive is to let go. Feel bad is to hold on. Not the same thing. So you've got to understand the Buddha's teaching properly. Patience, kanti, complements forgiveness. I'm patient with myself. Sudah, it's okay, no problem. Move on. But must be with understanding lah. Don't cheat and never mind, forgive. Cheat a bit more, never mind, forgive. Buddha said, can forgive, ma? So I forgive. Every day you cheat, every day you forgive. That's not correct either. This kind of forgiveness has to be done with Paññā. That's why all this is wisdom, you see. Making the right judgment call in your life so that there is balance. Today is a day when you feel very restless, you feel damn fed up. So someone step on your tail, you snap at the fella. Oh, then you feel very bad, very bad. What kind of Buddhist I am? What kind of practitioner? I just let go and snap like that. Not so good, right? That night, you stand before the Buddha's rupa and you go, okay, I'm a bad student today. Okay, tomorrow I endeavor to do better. Then you fall, for heaven's sake, tomorrow do better lah. Tomorrow I try. And then you let go. Let go. It's actually very tough. The more you are a practitioner, the more you take yourself to task. So a part of the wisdom that grows is when you learn to forgive yourself. Genuinely. I am only human. I am only a practitioner. I'm very new on this path. I'm still very young. Do you seriously, if you're 2-year-old, if you're very new, right, you're like a 2-year-old toddler. Your 2-year-old break your thing. You don't, right? Okay, you sit here. Don't touch, you're going to hurt yourself. You forgive. If you are many more years in the practice, many more years. You've been doing this for how long? 20 years. So now you're a 20-year-old kid, right? 20-year-old daughter or son, go ping pong, spoil all your things. Obviously, you're going to be a lot more annoyed, right? You're not going to, never mind, it's okay. You're going to, hey, what is going on? Surely you're better trained than this. I expect more from you. So say, if you're very new on the path, learn to accept that you will make mistakes. Have the wisdom to recognize that and have the wisdom to let go. Don't hold on to it. But also have the wisdom to say this is not right. Say that it's not right and we'll do better. And not a case of, as I said earlier, forgive. It's okay. Then cheat some more. Not okay. Okay? It's when you make a genuine mistake and not a deliberate mistake. Not the same. Okay. Then you also make choices about wanting to practice. You must have wisdom to say, I want to practice. So your wisdom can be very low level that says, all I want is to do good, do no evil, without realizing why. Okay? And then you can have the next level of wisdom that says, I'm keeping my mental space clean. I know it. So it's not just doing, not just the action, but now it's keeping this mental space clean, and you know you're doing it for practice. And then you don't meditate, you don't practice sati, because never mind, that one next life can do. This life, I only handle all the viriya part, all the part that deals with morality, that one I can handle. Meditation be difficult. No time, no time. I'm very busy, no time. No wisdom, your wisdom only end halfway. Wisdom to do good, do no evil. Wisdom to try and be a good person on a daily basis. But no wisdom to say, the practice has to be done. I need to hop onto the train. I cannot just be hanging at the rails. I need to go into the train. And for that, you need wisdom. Okay? Wisdom to say, I will want to do it. It's all part of growing up. All this is a growing up process. It's not a case where I'm saying, hey, not good enough, not good enough. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is a growing up process. As you find yourself growing on the path, you will then find yourself wanting to do more and more. And the wanting to do more and more has to do with the growth of your wisdom. And it will reach a point when you really want to chiong for the rest. It's all part of growing up, development of wisdom.